Hi Yogi, welcome to Yoga with Alina, and today we have another tutorial. I love this one because we're going to talk about Chaturanga. If you've practiced with me before, you know I'm crazy about this one, and for a good reason. This is the gateway into all of your arm balances, into creating more strength and deepen your practice. But here's the problem. The majority of people either not do it correctly or do not do it at all and use it something like a weird transition for a vinyasa flow, which it actually not. It is your asana, and it's a very important one. It's a basic one, not an easy one, but it is a basic one. So today we're going to get deeper into it. Let's get to the mat. I'm here with my friend Ted today, who's going to show you Chaturangas and the alignment in it. And before we start, I'm just going to say that this is a very, very difficult pose, and I'm going to be making him stay in it for an extended amount of time. Let's give a round of applause to that. So let's get started. All right. Let's just start by showing the actual Chaturanga, just the pose Chaturanga, and I'm going to say a couple of words what it is. Good. So first of all, it's basically a tricep push-up, but it's not your regular tricep push-up. It is a yogic push-up, which means it's super, super, super aligned. It's also a part of the vinyasa flow, which is why it is so important. All right, you can drop down. I can see you shaking. Good. And by the way, hold right there. This is not Chaturanga. This is what a lot of people think Chaturanga is. This is not Chaturanga, and I'm gonna explain to you right now exactly why it is not that. First of all, it's not doing anything. That's partly why it's not the pose. Good. All right, go into your child's pose. Take a few moments. And we're going to get into more alignment of the Chaturanga. I'm bringing out the blocks, which are our great, great, great friends here. And, all right, I'm going to place myself here. Let's go into another Chaturanga. Let's do it. Let's go into our Chaturanga again so that I can show the alignment. If you watched my vinyasa tutorial before, you already know how to get it. From your plank, you're going to push the shoulders forward and then bend the elbows at a 90-degree angle. So here's what I mean by 90-degree angle. The shoulders are staying over the fingertips. Fingertips are your brakes. I'm not sure if you can see it, but they're literally white right now. This is how much pressure he has in them. And then the elbows are staying in line with the shoulders, and the elbows are framing the ribcage. They're not coming up. They're not lower than that. They're actually framing the ribcage, and they're hugging in. So here's how you can know. Okay, this is going to be much easier for you right now. How does that feel? All right, this is a great trick to know if you're doing your Chaturanga correctly, right? So if the shoulders drop lower than the blocks, which obviously they can't right now, then you're doing it correctly. If they're not on the blocks yet, you know you might be able to go a little bit deeper. Maybe your body's not ready for it yet, but you know that potentially you can. All right, relax for a couple of seconds. There you go. Good. This one is a very, very tricky one. So we're going to go a little bit further. Hold on. I'm moving around a lot today. So we're going to move a little bit further into the alignment. You already saw the 90-degree angle, but how can you actually make sure that you're hitting it when you're practicing on your own? I'm going to show you a little trick with the blocks. If you have 4 blocks in actually the more blocks the better, I always say this. So if you have 4 blocks in your apartment, by any chance, grab all 4. Today we only have 2, but we don't really need 4 because you can only see one side anyways. So I'm going to show you how you can use the blocks to align yourself. All right, let's do this. I'm going to face my back to you guys a little bit, but the main thing is that you can see Te here. Get into your Chaturanga. Are you excited?
Yes.
The more Chaturangas, the better. All right, push the shoulders forward. Nice, bend the elbows. All right, So on top of putting the block right here, and the shoulder is going to be kind of, well, resting. Resting is still kind of hard here. Here, the block, the forearm is completely parallel to the block. So this is your alignment in Chaturanga. This is how ideally it should look like. All right, relax. There you go. But obviously, when we first start the practice, it doesn't look like that. It didn't look like that for me. It probably didn't look like that for you. And how do we get to that point? Well, here's the thing. We use knees. We use as much help as possible, but we don't just drop the knees down. We actually use them with with a lot of mindfulness, right? Very intentionally, which means we're still engaging all the muscles in the triceps. We're still engaging our core, all that stays, but we do have that extra support. Almost like when I put the blocks underneath Tez's shoulders, right? And he had a little bit of support. That didn't really make the pose much easier. He felt it, but it wasn't like, oh my God, now I can hold it forever. No, that doesn't make that. Same with your knees, right? Knees are not everything, but they're gonna be a little extra support. So let's show how it's gonna look on the knees. Let's go for it. And when you set it up with your knees, first start with a regular plank, and then from there, push the shoulders forward, drop the knees down. This is only when you drop the knees down, when you're ready to bend the elbows. All right, now bend the elbows, Chaturanga. There you go, beautiful. The knees are there, but he's still shaking, quite literally. And there's still lots of engagement happening. He's still getting everything in his triceps. He's still getting everything in his core, whatever is going to prepare him for the future practice that he might be about to do. I don't know. Good. All right, let it go. Drop it down. I'm going to mention one last thing here. Good. Let's move around. We're like moving in crosses. Good. And one last thing that I really want to bring your awareness to and make you pay attention to is how we're setting up the pose. A lot of times people forget about pushing the shoulders forward over the fingertips. And whenever I teach the practice, if you've taken practices with me before, and if you're here, probably you have, you always know that when we're moving through vinyasa, first thing I say is inhale, push the shoulders over the fingertips, exhale, bend the elbows for chaturangas. That's something I say every single time we do this flow. Why is that? If you don't push the shoulders forward and you just bend the elbows for a regular tricep push-up like you would in the gym, the elbows are going to go behind. There's no more angle happening, right? And remember what I said in the very beginning, this is a very geometrically beautiful practice. So we're looking for those angles, we're looking for those lines, and you're losing that alignment if you're not preparing yourself for the pose correctly. Let's show how it's going to look if we don't push the shoulders forward. Good. And I'm actually going to, again, moving in circles. I'm going to put myself right here so that you can see with the help of my blocks, you can see exactly what I'm talking about. All right, do not push the shoulders forward, just bend the elbows for a regular tricep push-up. You see how the forearm is actually not parallel to the block. I actually think it's much harder to hold too. Yeah, it's much harder. The fingertips are not helping. I can see how he's about to drop down. That's okay, you're good. Good. So there's no more alignment, and you cannot really hold it for that long. Why is it important for us? All right, rest in child's pose. I'm done torturing you. Good. Last thing, right? Why is this important for us? To be able to hold those chaturangas and to be able to hold that 90-degree angle. If you ever want to get into your arm balances, forgot the name, forgot the words. If you're ever looking to go into your arm balances, this is the foundation for literally every single arm balance. And once you learn how to hold that 90-degree angle, when you feel the pressure in your fingertips, they are your brakes. Again, I always say it. You know that you can go into much more advanced poses with a lot more ease. So this tutorial answered quite a few of your questions about this pose, and I really hope that you understand the importance of this one. So hopefully you will be able to practice it with integrity and progress in your practice a little bit faster, right, than you would otherwise without this pose in it. So thank you so much. Tay is here resting, so he's just gonna keep doing his thing. But thank you so much, guys, for staying with me for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. And from my heart to yours, namaste.